Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So if this is your first time here, welcome. My name is Lynn Taggart. I'm your Oklahoma City and Edmond realtor, and I help folks all over the country make the move to Oklahoma. I'd love to help you make the move here as well. My contact information is shown down below. People of all ages are moving here, including retirees, and I talk about retiring in Oklahoma in this video here. So why are all these folks moving here? Well, it's a low cost of living, it's affordable housing, or people are really friendly, some of the primary reasons. Naturally, there are some that may be on the fence about making Oklahoma their new home, and so that's why I make these videos, to help give everyone watching an honest, up close and personal view of what it's really like to live here, from someone that's lived here, well, let's just say a very long time. Speaking of that, a few weeks ago I made another video here about all the misconceptions that people have about living in Oklahoma, and one of the main misconceptions, probably the biggest one, has to do with our crazy weather. And that being the case, and to help dispel some of the misinformation that's out there, I decided to make this video talking strictly about our weather here. Movies like the 1996 movie Twister don't really help, and I hate to break the news to you, but the last time I checked, we don't have cows flying around in tornadoes here. That said, look for the cows to be flying again on screen in an encore performance when the Twister sequel, oh yes, there's one coming, to be called, wait for it, Twister 2. Yeah, that's original. Hits theaters in June 2024. About the only reference we have around here to flying cows is the name of the restaurant inside the National Severe Storms Laboratory in Norman, Oklahoma, appropriately called the Flying Cow Cafe. So in this video, we'll just talk about our weather, and I'll shoot it to you straight about what to expect living here. I've seen it all in my lifetime here in Oklahoma. But before we dive in, if you could take a second and hit the like and subscribe buttons, boy, I'd really appreciate it. And lets the YouTube algorithm know you appreciate and approve of the content I'm putting out. Also hit the notification bell if you'd like to be alerted when I post new content. All right, with all that out of the way, let's get started. First things first, we'll examine each of the 4 seasons we experience. And we do experience all 4 here. And to kick things off, we might as well start off with the elephant in the room. The one that always gets people's attention. Springtime in Oklahoma. Buckle up, folks. That's the season when things can get really bumpy around here. Daytime temperatures rise into the 70s and 80s, and combined with Gulf moisture, we have really big thunderstorms that fire up, and with them, tornadoes and damaging hail. Every decade or so, we seem to have a really big tornado occur here. The May 3rd, 1999 tornado takes the cake, the most powerful tornado ever recorded, an F5 category storm with winds over 300 miles an hour. Yikes. Usually each spring we have a handful of twisters that occur across central Oklahoma, but nothing lately has even come close to the intensity of that 1999 storm. The good news is that weather radar and TV coverage here are some of the most sophisticated in the country, so much so that they're frequently able to show tornadoes forming live on the air in real time. So you have a lot of advanced warning of what may or may not be headed your way. But those weather warnings all come at a cost. Your favorite TV shows will be interrupted a lot with all the weather warning interruptions we have to deal with. Yeah, I know it's an inconvenience, but really these warnings have saved thousands of lives over the years by giving people adequate time to prepare for what's coming. In terms of tornado safety, a lot of new homes today, for the most part, are built with in-ground tornado shelters, usually in the garage. We have one at our house, but we've never used it. To be honest, despite having lived here all my life, I've never seen a tornado in real life. I've also noticed that in recent years, it seems like the section of the country we call Tornado Alley, shown here, is beginning to shift east, and a lot of experts agree. There's a lot more big tornadoes occurring in the southeast part of the United States than around here. Do we have a real threat here? Yes, we do, but it's not nearly as bad a threat as some people like to make it out to be. You just have to be weather aware during springtime in Oklahoma. What we also have in the spring here is a lot of hail. Damaging hail happens here in conjunction with these big thunderstorms that often produce tornadoes. Just this spring, we had a large hailstorm in Oklahoma City, and at our house, we had hailstones larger than golf balls and nearing tennis ball size. For that reason, homeowners insurance premiums around here are high, and as are car insurance rates. We're in the top 3 nationally when it comes to hail damage to autos. Now, after about May, the threat of these large storms begins to subside, and then we come to summer. Not unexpectedly, during the springtime, rainfall totals here normally about 5 inches per month. Okay, moving on, let's talk about summer. Summer in Oklahoma can be described by 2 words, hot and humid. And in late July and August, it can really get hot and humid. Average daytime highs are in the low 90s, but as I'm taping this in early August 2023, we've had over 10 days of 100+ temperatures, and combined with the humidity, we've had non-stop excessive heat warnings posted. Last month's electric bill, shown here, Exhibit A, was bad, so I can't wait for next month's. Frankly, it's just miserable to be outside right now. Summer hangs around a long time here in Oklahoma, and it's not until about October when the heat begins to dissipate and my electric bill returns from the stratosphere. Lots of folks here head to one of the large number of area lakes to beat the heat, and in Oklahoma City we now have River Sport Adventures, the nation's only urban whitewater rafting and kayaking center where you can really cool off and get your heart pumping at the same time. I talk about River Sport in more detail here. You should really check it out, and pardon the pun, but it's a very, very cool place. All right, let's head into fall. So in fall in Oklahoma, the heat doesn't really dissipate until late October. With highs before then, they're still stubbornly high, really in the 80s, all the way to the low 90s. Rainfall amounts are second only to spring during this time. They average 3 to 4 inches per month. And after October, fortunately, things begin to cool off a bit, with highs in the 70s and lows dipping down into the 50s. But fall is my favorite time of year in Oklahoma. You want to know why? Well, duh. Because it's football season, baby. And football is king in Oklahoma. That said, early season games in September and October in Norman, where the University of Oklahoma plays, or in Stillwater, where Oklahoma State plays, can be downright brutal, as in hot. I speak from experience on that one. Bring your sunglasses and sunscreen and drink lots of water because it's still very hot in the stands. Now, the first freeze in Oklahoma occurs around November 6th when things cool off. The leaves around here do change colors, and Oklahoma's fall beauty comes into its own. To get up close and personal with autumn's colors in the Sooner State, head over to southeastern Oklahoma near the Arkansas border and take the Talamina Scenic Drive, a National Scenic Byway, traversing 54 miles through the Wichita Mountains for a breathtaking view of Oklahoma's autumn splendor. It really is spectacular. So now we're coming down the home stretch. Let's talk about winter in Oklahoma. So winters really aren't that bad. I mean, daytime temperatures average in the 50s from late November through February. Lows are typically in the 20s and 30s. Rarely, if ever, do we see temperatures drop below zero. We do get a little bit of snow, not typically a lot, maybe 7 or 8 inches total accumulation. The most snow we've ever gotten in a single day was on Christmas Eve 2009. We got 14 inches dumped on us that day, and I remember it well because my 8-year-old proclaimed, "Christmas is ruined," since he was convinced that Santa Claus couldn't get to our house because of the blizzard. But somehow, miraculously, Santa was able to find his way to us on Christmas Day. While snow isn't a huge problem, what is a big problem here is ice. We get a lot of ice storms here, and it seems like we've had more than our usual share the last few years. Oklahoma sits too far south and thus is too warm to get large amounts of snow like our neighbors in Kansas up north. But we're just far enough north and just cold enough to get frozen precipitation in the form of ice, not snow. So when these ice storms occur, they wreak havoc. They down large trees and power lines, and they leave thousands without power, often for days and sometimes for weeks. For that reason, there are a lot of Oklahomans that invest in a home generator to be able to keep the lights on and the heat on if the power goes out. But they're pretty expensive though. I don't have one, but I just have a friend of mine that does. Even as little as 1/10 of an inch of ice turns streets here into skating rinks, aka black ice. Be advised. Oklahomans, they do an okay job of driving on this stuff, but we're much, much better than our friends in Texas, who always seem to freak out with just a slight dusting of winter weather. Now, while we have a lot of trucks and SUVs in Oklahoma, a pet peeve of mine in winter here are drivers of these vehicles who still haven't learned that having four-wheel drive is of no use when you have to stop. So slow the heck down. So there you have it. As you can see, you will experience all 4 seasons here in the Sooner State. Spring can be intense with lots of big storms that routinely fire up around here. Summer can be brutal with the high heat and humidity. And then for the trifecta, add in a non-stop strong south wind. Fall, eventually, becomes really nice, not too hot, not too cold, and winters are pretty mild with not a lot of snow, with the only problem being an occasional ice storm that blankets the state. Since I've lived here my whole life, I'm used to it, but I can see how weather could be a deal killer for some that are considering a move here. And weather is one of the topics I talk about in this video, where I go into detail about why you should not move to Oklahoma. Now, if you're undeterred after watching this video, congratulations. I haven't scared you off, it's great. I'd love the chance to talk to you about moving here. Lots of folks are packing up and heading to Oklahoma. A lower cost of living and our affordable housing are powerful draws. Check out this video here where I talk about the cost of living. If you're considering making the move here, give me a call, shoot me a text or email, and let's connect. My contact information is shown in the description box down below. Also, if you enjoyed this content, I would really appreciate it if you could hit the like and subscribe buttons. You know, knowing I'm making content that's helping folks really motivates me and keeps me making more of these things. Also, hit the notification bell if you'd like to know when I drop new videos, which I really try to do every week. That's it for now. Time to go crank up the AC, I guess. I'll catch you on the next video. Take care, everyone. Adios.